I hope you're having an amazing day. My name is Colin, and today we're going to have a look at the future of crypto gaming, ongoing developments. Today, once more, joined by Kareem, gaming advisor at Metaverse. Welcome.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Kareem, aka Just Kiro. Always good to be here, man. Thanks for having me on
Welcome
the show.
back on the channel once more. The
Why did I get the
developments,
show?
yeah, just keep coming back. You keep
The
coming back.
podcast.
The developments in the crypto space, where we went from, play to earn, free to play to own. These are like ongoing developments. But when we talk about the actual gameplay, right? I did see a video of the other side, Metaverse, which actually looks like a playable game, right? They're like
Right.
only like 12-second clips of a guy jumping, running around. It looks like an
Yes.
actual game. We see a little bit more, everybody calls everything AAA, right? And we have to make a distinction about
I've got a
what
whole
that
video on
actually
that.
means.
I
What
got
it
a
means, what
whole
it
video
looks
on that.
like. But what do you reckon in terms of the adoption, where we saw in the last bull cycle gaming and a slight metaverse angle? They assume for the future outlook that the metaverse will be quite big. Still, now there's the relevant AI component. What can we expect in terms of gameplay on a crypto gaming level point of view? What do you foresee for this year, next year, potentially?
I mean, in the immediate short term, um, I don't see that much change. To be honest, because most of the crypto gaming projects are, sad to say, very much just Axie clones for
Mm-hmm.
the most part. There are obviously standouts. There's the other side metaverse, as you were saying, but I don't really want to like start talking about metaverse as if it's a game on its own, because pretty big distinction there. Like a metaverse is more of like a social hub, almost like an interactive lobby within a game. If it makes sense.
Maybe that's how it is right now, but from every metaverse that I've seen, it's just a game in it. There's
Yeah,
not
I
like
mean,
a combination
yeah.
of 8 games in an open world and
Well,
different
the
companies
thing
attached to
is,
it.
I mean, it's weird to talk about. Like, I mean, when it comes to metaverses in like the crypto space, and whether they have these games within the metaverse, you're basically just it's just it's Second Life. I don't know how else to explain. It's not new. Second Life has been around since like 1999 or 2001 or something ridiculous. Second Life has been around a long time. It's like The Sims but online. Like, you're just putting a digital representation of yourself and socializing with other people in a digital space, right?
But
I mean,
when
yeah,
we take, for example, World of Warcraft, you have the different worlds, the different expansions. You can play player versus player. There's 10 different
but that's not a
battlegrounds.
metaverse.
I can do pet battles. Ultimately, that's 10 different games inside one game. Is that a metaverse?
No, no, not at all.
What's the difference between then the sandbox, which ultimately every game only holds, let's say, 50 to 100 players? It's a Minecraft style. I haven't seen any. How is that not just a game? How is that a metaverse? Because they sell land?
Goal. It's the goal.
Okay, so it's
There
still a
is no.
visionary dream.
It's not. It's what makes it a metaverse or a simulation versus an actual game is there's no goal. Minecraft at the same time you might say has no goal, but there's a purpose. Build shit, explore. Metaverses don't have that same like level of actual gameplay. Like, it's more you stand around, make your avatar, deck them out with all your overpriced JPEGs, and then go meet other people who did the same thing. Just you get to just
But the
see their
vision is to
avatars.
basically create some utility to that metaverse through experience inside the world.
There absolutely can be a lot of instances where this is doable. It's just not. It's not. We're not Ready Player One yet. We don't have the tech. If everybody's hoping for that, it's going to be at least another 10, 20 years before we have anything near that tech, if not more.
So what would that look like? So let's say right now the biggest one is like sandbox, and people have dreams. Like the Decentraland's basically almost dead, right?
It's
They
kind
were
of like a
very.
forum. It's kind of like an online forum or chat room, just with like more physical representations where you get to flex the things that you own, talk to like-minded individuals. Yeah, there are sub rooms within it. It's like a website. It's like there's Facebook, and then there's Facebook profiles, right? You've got the
So
overarching
what can we expect
website.
from the next 2 years when it comes to these
I'll be
gaming
honest,
metaverses?
nothing.
Because if I want to talk with you, we're gonna do that on Zoom, or Discord. I'm not going to go into the other side metaverse to talk to your monkey when I can talk to you face to face on Zoom.
That they see, that's the other thing. Like metaverses just assume that everybody and their dog is gonna want to be on it. First of all, how many different metaverses that are coming up? There's no way that any of them can serve their purpose if they have that much competition, because the whole point is to connect everyone and everything,
Yeah.
unless they all agree to have interconnecting metaverses, which then, like it's just, let's not get into that right now. Like that's the goal of the metaverse is to be like a global meeting spot, like on the digital space. But if everybody and their dog is also building a fucking metaverse, which metaverse do you go to? It doesn't become a metaverse anymore. It just becomes a different website that you have to check, a different social media profile that you have to check.
So let me tell you this. Yeah, I've been talking with the Metaverse, which is quite low key. I didn't hear it before. They're listed on Binance, so it's massive. They've been developing for 5 years, right? Not going to drop any names, but when you go
You're
into the
gonna tell me after the
Metaverse,
call, though.
you have like a central hub. This is the socialization place. There's advertisements there. There are shops there. But basically, what happens is it's world in worlds. So you open a specific door, you enter, let's say, a sports area. Here you can play
Yep.
gamings, tents, race cars, basketball, FIFA Street, like all these type of games. And I think that's like the next step in this thing. If you focus on gaming, that you can play with your friends, multiple games, can run around. So basically an open world GTA where you have like different style of games.
It's a very, very interactive like menu. I don't
Yeah.
know how it's a very, very interactive menu at this.
And ultimately, what you have to do is you don't have to sign out, you don't have to sign in for all of these things. You're just like, hey, we're a bunch of guys together on a square in a game. We talk with each other and we hop onto this thing. But at the same time, you open a different door and a little baby is hosting a concert, right? Like I think that type of shit brings like less focus on gaming. Because when I look at the other side, the playable thing, that's not a metaverse, that's a fucking game. A game that uses different IPs, but it's still a game. I don't see what the element of metaverse is. Other people can build on a game. That's called an SDK. That has nothing to do with metaverse.
Right. I mean, maybe they share some lines of code. I don't know. That's about it, though. It's no, like, look, there's a difference between a game and a metaverse, and it, honestly, it's not necessarily to your benefit if you're trying to sell a game as a metaverse. In fact, it might be the opposite, because a metaverse.
But that's always what I ask people. What does that mean, metaverse? What does it mean in this example? Because ultimately,
really
nobody knows what it
menu,
means
I guess.
yet, right? Nobody knows what it means. We just know what it is right now. And then when people explain the vision, I'm like, that sounds cool. And then they're like, yeah, it's going to take 8 years, though. Or it's going to take 10 years, though. It's
going to
fine.
take 8 years, and it's going to hope to God that everybody has the GPUs and internet speed to run it globally. Not
but
everybody
that will be the innovation. So circling back to the question, skipping the metaverse. When we look at crypto gaming, right, for the next 2 years, we have the XE clones. We don't want that, right? Ideally, unless they fix the economy model, which is very difficult. Where do we go then? Because we see the big time, we see the illuvium, we see other higher quality relative gameplay experiences. Are those going to lead the change, or will we see like new innovative concepts?
I mean, both. I guess they are going to look as soon as somebody comes out, somebody like, makes a very, very deep, like it 3D kind of real time game, like an MMORPG, like Big Time, for example. I mean, I know that Big Time had what's the word I'm looking for? Accessibility issues. I don't know why I'm holding a paperclip, by the way. They had access, like it wasn't like, I know that to get the gold pass at one point it cost up to $7,000, like $7,000 to play a game. So it wasn't at the time the most accessible game for everybody to play, but I think now it has gone free to play. So games like that come in and prove that you can be a valuable, you can be a good game with a lot of depth, and there's a lot of focus on actual gameplay development and not so much talk. Like, as far as I know, I don't even know if Big Time has their own like native token. Pretty sure it's almost all NFTs. At least when I played it, it was. Right? Like they built this whole thing, and they did something really unique. Every other gaming project has tokens and NFTs. They're like, dude, screw the tokens. We're just gonna do the NFTs because this is how we make it fair. And all the NFTs are purely just cosmetic items, and it's incredible. Like they did
you have the lands as well, not the rooms.
I think I think that was after my time, I guess. I think they started adding that like after the silver and bronze passes, maybe. dude, they did it right. I mean, despite how I personally feel about the game, I mean, I like the game. It's just not my kind of game, and that's okay.
Sure.
And that should be the case. Like you should have, but the thing is, I don't have another option right now. If I wanted to specifically play a crypto game or something, then I'm very limited for options. Like, but
In terms
we're
of
going
like
to see
real
more and
games.
more. Yeah, nah, in terms of actual, like, I want to have a different experience. Right now, we're pretty limited. It's an MMORPG, very instance based, not very open world, despite what everybody tells you. It's very instance based. All the combat is done in Portal. That's instance based. Um, um, but you do have other games, first person shooters, battle royales, all these new, like, they're coming. They are on the way. A lot of them look incredible. A lot of them look like they're not gonna ever come out. You've got both sides. We're gonna see a lot, but like very soon we're gonna see a kind of case study game that's going to make the point that, look, everybody is so fucking hyper focused on Web3 gaming, when, like, the fact that you've like put those two together means you've effectively kind of killed the purpose. It's
Hmm.
not Web3 gaming. It's not it's just gaming, right? And when people start recognizing it for what it is, we're gonna actually start seeing the projects that'll be like, look, we made a game that can utilize good blockchain technology, instead of, hey, how the fuck do we pump this coin? Like, there are two very
Sure.
different thoughts when you're going into it, right? And I've seen way too many of the, so, like, how the fuck do we make this number go this to there, versus how do we make this fun? Like, you'd be
So
surprised
what
at how few
is
people
on the available current
in
projects in the
the
market? What?
horizons, the ones I'm excited for personally. There was one I'm not gonna mention because I'm not sure their status, and I don't know how much I can say. I mean, I Meta Ops, I don't know what's going on with them. I really hope that game continues development. Um, that's something I'm really excited about. The bornless, unbelievably excited about, because, like, I'm not even talking about as an investor. I don't have a dollar in any of these projects. Just so we're clear here,
Mhm.
I'm sitting here talking about, I'm excited about it just because I want to play them. Like, I'm not putting in a dollar. I just want to play the goddamn game. That's it for me. But that fact, I go play the game. If I start liking the game, I'm going to spend way too much money decking out my character in cosmetics, and that's how you get a gaming audience.
But these are
But
either games that have not been released yet or are still raising funds. So I'm more talking about the other
true.
side of the thing, where companies are sitting on 100 million and the relative risk exposure is a lot less. So if you would look at, let's say, the current
Like, if you're sitting on
big
100
players,
million, you can actually afford. Like, if you're a game developer sitting on 100 million, you are one of the very few in the industry in Web3 that can actually afford to build a AAA game. That's all I'm gonna say
right?
to
So
you.
that's what I'm saying. So moving in the next 2 years, where are your biggest bets in terms of promising gameplay from established players?
I am going to. My prediction is, first we're gonna see a lot of these Axie clones disappear, and then we're gonna see a lot more developers coming up with really unique ideas, and ideas that just make for a fun, enjoyable experience, while utilizing blockchain technology without making blockchain technology the focus. So I'm looking at games like the Bornless and Big Time. While it's a little bit more heavy NFT focused than Big Time, still it's a good game. I can't take that away from them. And despite how I might enjoy or not enjoy the game, it's
Sure.
objectively a good game, right? There's games like the Bornless, games like Meta Ops, honestly, games like EV.io, that's, like, honestly out right now. You can play it. It's the simplest shit in the world. You just type in EV.io on your website. You don't even need to connect your wallet. Nothing. That's it. That's it. You EV.io and you're in the game. You're already playing. Like, you can't get much more accessible than that. And it's browser based.
Okay, so let me
Those are the
throw you
games.
some names and you say yes or no. What
Those are the
about
games that I see.
What
Illuvium
about Illuvium?
looks
And there's
looks
sub-play, because right now it's Illuvium Studios, right? They've
right.
released their second game.
I really, really, I want to get my hands on it. I've seen really cool things, but I need to get my hands on it. But yes, I'm excited about Illuvium.
What about the, it's not live yet, but obviously the Godzilla Studios.
Um,
They
so I
raised a
don't know.
tremendous amount of money,
They,
right?
I heard for I think the game is called Off the Grid, and it's like a battle royale game. As far as I remember, it's also a mobile battle royale game. So that's gonna be, they're really trying to contend with the PUBG mobile market, and the gameplay looks really promising. Again, I
I
haven't
think they
got
have
my
like
hands on
6
it.
or 8 games in the roadmap for the next 6 years.
True. I'll be honest. The only one I looked at was Off the Grid. That's the only one I'm really familiar with enough to talk about. Uh,
What about
again,
Shrapnel?
I didn't get my hands. Dude, Shrapnel was such a cool idea and concept. I don't know what the hell they did. Shrapnel was such a cool idea and concept.
But they haven't released anything, have they?
No, they didn't. But like, the concept of Shrapnel was really cool, the gameplay side of things. But I feel like they fell victim to the same thing that everybody else has fallen victim to. Is just how the fuck do we squeeze NFTs and tokens into every little nook and cranny of the game rather than letting the game stand on its own?
Does that mean that the game cannot be good?
Oh, absolutely not. I just think if they shift focus and go back to building instead of raising, I think
Can they not
I
build
know
and
they
raise at the
raise.
same time?
I You think they can. I'm not saying that they can't, but like I haven't seen anything. I've only seen negative
Same.
things, right?
But that's just from the investor point of view, I reckon.
Right. Not even from the game. I haven't seen, dude, to this day. First heard about Shrapnel a year ago, and to this day I haven't even seen like anything that resembles gameplay.
Fair enough. What about something like Phantom Galaxies?
Is that the one with the ships? No, that's something else.
It's with the planets. I'm not too
Look
familiar with
again.
the project. I just know they raised also a fuck ton of money.
I don't know. I cannot talk about projects that like it's just unethical. I can't like I don't know anything about Phantom Galaxies. I'll be honest.
Let me see if I have something else, because obviously I know a lot of smaller
Yeah.
games, but I saw the gameplay of Magicraft 2 days ago. From it's like like these Carl the Moon style projects. The gameplay didn't actually look that bad, to be fair. Looked like a
Oh,
decent
Phantom
playable game.
Galaxies. Wait, no, this is a different Phantom Galaxies. No, this is the same Phantom. Wait, this game's out. Hold on. Hold on. Dude,
Share
what
your
do you
screen,
mean?
then we can at least see what you're seeing. 1 second, I will enable it for you. Yeah, there you go.
Uh,
You good?
yeah.
There we go.
Where
Yeah,
yeah,
that one.
yeah, it looks nuts. But no, the thing that had me was um here. Apparently, they're saying it's on PlayStation 4, Xbox, and Microsoft Windows. Is it though? Wait, I do remember this game. I do. Okay, wait. Yeah, I do. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, this is the game that they're kind of like catch was that they're going to be on Steam and PlayStation and Xbox, but there's some fine print you got to read because they're releasing a single player game for the consoles and for Steam. The multiplayer version of the game with all the Web3 elements is not going to be on console.
Right.
Right. So that's something so I do remember something. I'm pretty sure it's this project. If I'm not mistaken, it's Italian studio.
Well, it says download, so I assume it's somewhat playable.
Nah, it's probably just a. Yeah, I'll do that. I don't. Is it out? I just want to get the
Yeah,
team.
I know the the white paper is boring as fuck. Let me just pause
Yeah.
your screen share so we can dive
Yeah.
into something else. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
In
While you do
terms
that, I'm
of
just looking for the team real quick.
interesting projects, I've seen, you know, the G4L pushing Elemental Raiders today to Steam, and they already have 124% of target reached on the new users. So that's going quite well. There's obviously a mobile game because that's their ultimate expertise, right? Mobile gaming. So it doesn't always have to be AAA. It doesn't always have to be 100 million worth of game, you know. It can also be just a fun game that's on mobile that targets a huge amount of adoption, massive markets.
I have so much to say about that. Couldn't agree more. First of all, stop saying AAA. Stop saying stop. Don't even say double A. All right, because a double A entry
Triple A.
point, a double A entry point. We're talking about like a minimum 1 million, in development to hit double A. Like to tell yourself to call yourself a triple A game, you're talking about a team of a minimum 200 people. You're talking about a minimum like $50 to $100 million starting point into development. You're talking about a huge production. You're talking about a Marvel movie. You know what I mean? That's blockbuster.
Yeah, and if we look at Web
That's
2, we're talking World of Warcraft, GTA 5, Call of Duty Warzone.
like the Warzone, Call of Duty games are AAA, FIFA's AAA because the amount money and marketing that goes into it. The Assassin's Creed games, the games that you're seeing advertised on billboards and the highways and shit like that, depending on where you live, dude, those are AAA games. The amount of money that goes into that is unreal, and the only reason that they're able to keep pumping out these AAA games is because they're all built on the same engine. Like if you're building a game and you start telling people, like I've seen people say, hey, we're building our own engine. First of all, it took 20 years to build I think Unreal Engine. It took 20 years to build. Like you're not building an engine. You're not. That's just beyond the scope of being like reasonable. It takes at least a decade to build an engine. So I've seen a lot of projects tell me that they're building their own engine. I'm like, no, you're not. Go away.
Crypto
Second, like,
projects?
yeah, crypto projects telling me that they're gonna build. Oh my god, is this Unity or Unreal? Oh, we're building on our own proprietary engine. End call. It's not happening. It's flat
So
out
most of
not
the
happening.
games that I see built either Unreal Engine 4 or Unreal Engine 5.
Or Unity, yeah. Those are the two most popular. You got some like WebGL. I haven't seen anybody use RPG Maker, but that could be a really, really cool one to see somebody build with a crypto game with an RPG studio. That would be really, really cool. I'll be honest, nobody's even thought about doing a Pokemon style game with the Pokemon style pixelated graphics. Why not? Not everything has to be very flashy. Trust me. Like those games are way more fun
Well,
that way.
again, when you go back to the mobile adoption, I mean, it does look clean, Elemental Raiders, but again, it's a mobile game, very simplified
Right.
menu. Go, when people say MMORPG, if you look, it took World of Warcraft, 16 years, and it only has gone down. Basically, after the first initial 5 years in terms of revenue, etc. It's still massive, of course, and it has done tremendous things for the entire gaming space. But it doesn't mean that.
But it only happened because I don't even know. I don't even want to think about how many fucking if probably getting close to $1 billion that of money put into World of Warcraft over like its lifetime.
Oh,
I
definitely.
at least I don't know the numbers, so like don't quote me. But putting that part aside, World of Warcraft still exists today because World of Warcraft is a fucking good game. Like I don't like World of Warcraft, but it's a fucking good game. Nobody could
Let's
argue
see.
that. That's why it's still standing. How many MMORPGs? I don't know. Like I could name maybe 5 off the top of Requiem, Memento Mori. That was one that just disappeared. Terra
Just to develop
dying
the initial version of World of Warcraft. Yeah, just to develop the initial version, 63 million.
easily. And I don't know if you remember how simple it was back in the early versions compared
Yeah,
to
the
what it is
vanilla
now.
times. That's when I started
Like
playing way
yeah,
back. So
2000.
let's
I want to
summarize,
say
Kareem.
2002.
We need the summary, of course, before we go way into the Unreal Engine, which obviously I don't give a fuck
Right.
about. But I
Yeah.
do
I
care
don't even know
highly
enough.
about the crypto game. So we have the
Right.
mobile component, which is extremely interesting. Simplicity. What do we need to look out
Mass
for in
adoption as well.
2023?
Like I want to say keep your eye out. Like look, there's going to be plenty of mobile releases because easier to develop for, much easier to reach a very wide audience. That's something that's inevitable. What I would say look out for projects that aren't trying to sell you on Web3. Try if you're trying to like look into a project, you need to as an investor, try to pretend to be a gamer for a minute. Just, is this something that you could see a bunch of people playing? And if you don't know the answer to that, ask somebody who does, because there's no shame in it.
So
Like
we're
if
gonna
you're an
come
investor,
all to your channel and just spam your comments. Check this game. Check this game.
yeah. Like, yeah, you can, but I'm not gonna promise you any positive like reviews just because you like something.
No, I
But
mean
I'll do it.
ultimately, if the second opinion, the third party opinion even is extremely credible. I think I have
But
people
it
that tell
is an
me,
opinion.
over time, yeah, these are
Yeah,
not facts.
right.
They never
There's
are.
opinions. There's opinions, and then there's opinions backed
But then
by
again, the numbers don't lie. That is
reason.
very important. If we're going
Right.
into the quotations and everything,
Right.
yeah, I mean, like I would
But
ask your
long term,
opinion.
yeah, long term, you've got like long term. If you depend on somebody like me to make the money, then you need to ask somebody like me if they're willing to do it. You know what I mean? Is this something that you would play? And then, you'd ask 1,000 different
So what
niches.
I
Is
want
this
to
something?
see is on your YouTube channel, the bornless review. I want to
Oh, dude, I'm
see
so excited for that. Yeah.
meta ops review. These type of things. I would actually watch. I'm not going to watch a fucking 1 hour video. I'm going to tell you that. But if you can make it 10, 15 minutes just from the gameplay side, if I'm
Yeah.
looking to invest and combine that, I think that would be great.
See what I would like what I would like to do. I need to figure out how editing works because I don't know if you noticed, but I'm really bad at it. Like, I can't even get the green screen fully out of my background.
I don't edit
Yeah,
any videos ever, so I
yeah, I
wouldn't
know,
know.
but
I
you don't.
can't
But
help
yeah,
you.
but you don't. Yeah, but you don't need to. For
And
me
I
to
don't give
get
a
some
fuck.
gameplay, yeah. So for me to get some gameplay videos, honestly, I really want to. It's just they're gonna be probably like, a little bit slower production. I'd love to I play some games and I'll tell you what I like. I'll tell you what I don't like, and then we can look at how Web3 comes into play here. I think the biggest thing is if this game doesn't work Web2, then it doesn't work Web3.
Fair enough. That makes sense. All right, those are the bullet points, everybody. The summary, outlook for 2023. Kareem, thank you so much for your
Always a pleasure,
relevant
man.
gaming insight. Everybody else, thank you so
Gaming
much for
guru.
watching, and we will
But
see you
in the next one.
in the next one.